AI helps reduce the work that feels productive but does not truly move the company forward. So when I hear somebody say to me that they would rather do everything manually because they don't want to use AI, I understand the sentiment, but I think that many people are asking the wrong question. The question is not, can I do this by hand? Of course you can. That's how you've done it for years. So of course you can do everything manually, but the better question is, what up, Bars Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Dropping Bars podcast. I'm your host, Kimron Corion, and today we are talking all about artificial intelligence again. And I will say something that might challenge the way many people think about work. I will say some things today and people might feel a kind of way about it, but it has to be said because using AI for leverage is not cheating. It's choosing to spend human time on judgment, creativity, and strategy instead of busy work. And I think that's one of the biggest mindset shifts that business leaders need to make right now. I keep hearing people saying things like, oh, I don't use AI, or I don't want AI to help me write that. And to be honest, there is nothing wrong with doing things manually if that's your choice. That's okay. But the question that I ask myself is, why would someone deliberately spend 3 hours doing something that could take 10 minutes with the help of AI? Especially when your brain could be focused on something far more valuable. The truth is, this is not about laziness. It's not about cutting corners. And this is definitely not about replacing human beings. This is about leverage. The businesses that wins in this era will be the ones that understand the simple truth. And that is, not every task deserves full human labor. Some tasks need human intelligence, some need human taste, some need human leadership. But what fills the average workday generally is a whole lot of repetitive, manual, and low-value tasks. And that is where AI should step in. And I say this with no apologies. Some tasks do not need full human labor. Now, let me walk you through the 8 ways that I believe businesses can use AI for leverage. Now, the first one is to turn hours of admin tasks into minutes. And one of the clearest use of AI or uses of AI is reducing administrative drag. I am talking about drafting PowerPoint slides, writing emails, summarizing documents, creating reports, formatting proposals, organizing ideas. These are things that takes up a lot of hours, not because they are so intellectually demanding, but because they're time consuming. And that's where many people are getting it wrong. They wear the long process like a badge of honor. They think, if I take long to do this, then that's great. But the truth is, in business, the goal is not to prove how long someone took. The goal is to produce results. So if AI can help you build the first draft of a presentation in 10 minutes, then your job is not to reject it. Your job is to use those saved hours to either sharpen the message, improve the story, and make better decisions. That is leverage. The next thing is something I've spoken about before, and that is to speed up content creation without starting from zero. Now, a lot of businesses still struggle with content because they think every single caption, script, blog post, campaign idea has to start with a blank page. That's not the case. This is one of the biggest productivity traps in modern businesses. AI can help generate the first draft of a social media caption, blog outlines, ad copies, video script, product descriptions, and just general marketing concept. Now, does that mean that you're going to just copy and paste everything? No, that will be lazy and it will be foolish. But starting with a structured draft instead of a blank page, that really changes everything. Now, your team can now spend more time either refining the message, strengthening the brand voice, and making the content more relevant to the audience instead of wasting energy trying to get started. Human beings should own the final message, but AI can remove the friction of starting from zero. The next way is to make meetings actually useful. And that is one of the ways that I've been using AI a lot in recent times. Like a lot of my meetings, I record my meetings, transcribe my meetings. No, let's be honest. A lot of our meetings are really just expensive conversations with very little follow through. I mean, let's be honest, right? People talk, ideas get shared, decisions get made, and then half of everything just disappear because nobody properly captured the discussion, action points, or the deadline. And AI can help change that because AI can transcribe your meetings. It can summarize what was said, identify key takeaways. It can capture decisions and pull action items. And somebody might say, well, yeah, but that's great if it's an online meeting. You can do the same thing in offline meetings. You can actually record your offline meetings when you're having it. Have a recorder, record the meeting and take the recording, put it in one of the AI transcription tools, get the transcription, put it in Google Gemini and make all your notes and so from there. I mean, that means less confusion, less forgetting, and less time spent trying to remember who said what, who was supposed to do what. And this matters. This really matters because business momentum is often lost in the gap between discussion and execution. And if AI can help close that gap, then it's not just saving time, it's improving accountability. And that's big. At least I think that's big. The other way that we can use AI for leverage is to improve customer support at scale. Customer service is one of those areas where AI can create some serious leverage because businesses can use AI to answer, common questions, routine inquiries, to draft responses, and to support the teams in handling higher volumes of communication. Now, that does not mean removing the human touch. It does not mean that. It means reserving the human touch for the moment that actually requires empathy, complexity, and building relationship. So a customer should not have to wait hours or days for basic information because your team is drowning in repetitive questions. AI can handle the common and predictable so that your staff can focus on the meaningful and the complex. That is how you scale service without burning out your people. Now, the next way that AI can be used for leverage is to standardize operation and standard operating procedures, SOPs. One of the hidden problems in many businesses is that of, too much knowledge living in people's head. One person who have been working in a particular company, in a government ministry, for a long time, 10, 20 years, that one person knows how, the onboarding process works. Another person might know how invoices are handled. One person knows the exact step for client follow-up. And when that person is absent, everything slows down. I've been to organizations and I'm like, hey, I'm coming to check on this thing. And they're like, oh, the person that does this is absent today. And I'm like, what does that have to do with me? Like, are you serious? Right? So when that one person who has everything in their head, when they're absent, everything slows down. And to me, that's a problem. AI can help businesses document the processes, create SOPs, standard operating procedures, organize internal knowledge, and turn scattered information into structured system. This is a big deal because businesses do not scale well when everything depends on memory and improvisation. AI can help take what is informal and make it usable, repeatable, and trainable. That's not just efficiency. That's maturity. That's maturity. Now, the next way that we can use AI for leverage is to accelerate research and strategy. Research is essential, but it consumes a lot of time. Let's be honest. When we're doing research, it consumes a lot of time. But hey, AI can help you to summarize reports, to compare competitors, identify trends, pull insights from customer feedback, organize information for strategic thinking. And again, this doesn't mean that the AI itself is making the final decision, but it means that the AI can help leaders get to the thinking process much faster. So instead of spending hours digging through, raw information, leaders can spend more time evaluating options, asking better questions, and deciding what matters most. That is where human value lies, not in manually collecting every piece of information, but in interpreting it wisely. The next way is to support teams with internal knowledge assistance. Imagine if your staff could instantly ask, what is our refund policy? Where is the latest proposal template? What is the process for onboarding a new client? And instead of interrupting a manager or searching through like 10 different folders, they can get a fast accurate answer from an AI assistant that is trained on approved internal documents. That is powerful. Internal knowledge assistance can help reduce waste, help you avoid wasting time. It can help you improve consistency. It can help teams move faster without constantly relying on one person to be the answer bank. You don't need to be asking this one person every time, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? No, you can create an internal knowledge assistant using something like Notebook LM. Because in many businesses, the issue is not that people are unwilling to work. The issue is that too much time is wasted trying to find information that should be easy to access. And the final way I think that we can use AI for leverage is to automate repetitive workflows. And I think this is where AI move beyond being a writing tool, for instance, to becoming a business system. AI can help automate repetitive workflows like, sorting inquiries, updating records, scheduling follow-ups, classifying documents, routing tasks, processing forms, triggering reminders. That is where the real leverage happens, because once AI is embedded into the workflow, the business starts moving faster with less friction. People spend less time in the day pushing for the same information from one place to the next. They stop getting buried under, routine admin tasks. They stop confusing activity with productivity. They stop thinking, oh, I'm busy, so I'm productive. No, not because you're busy means that you're productive. And that is an important distinction. A lot of businesses are busy, but they're not actually efficient. AI helps reduce the work that feels productive, but does not truly move the company forward. So when I hear somebody say to me that they would rather do everything manually because they don't want to use AI, I understand the sentiment, but I think that many people are asking the wrong question. The question is not, can I do this by hand? Of course you can. That's how you've done it for years. So of course you can do everything manually. But the better question is this the best use of my time? Because human beings, us, we should be spending more of our time on leadership, on decision making, on creativity, problem solving, building relationships, and strategic thinking. Not drowning in formatting, not rewriting the same, type of email for the 100th time, not sitting in a meeting with no record of what was agreed upon, not wasting hours building systems that could be accelerated in minutes. Using AI for leverage is not cheating, my friends. Using AI for leverage is not cheating. It is wisdom. It is resourcefulness. And AI in business, the leader who understands leverage will always have an advantage over the leader who is committed to the struggle, who is committed to struggle for the sake of struggle. Like, oh, I do this by myself. I don't use AI. AI don't help me. And you'll say this proudly, and kudos to you. But in business, the leader who understands leverage will always have an advantage over the leader who is committed to struggle for the sake of struggle. So don't use AI to avoid thinking. That's not what I'm saying. Don't use AI to avoid thinking. Use AI to protect your time so that you can think better. That is the shift. That is the opportunity. And that is how businesses should be using AI right now. Anyways, that's what I got for you. That's it. Thank you, Bars Nation. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Dropping Bars podcast. I am your host, Kimron Corion, and I'm always happy to drop some AI knowledge on you. I just like, diving deep into the world of AI, and it's really a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. There's so many things happening right now. I'm telling you. And we're still in the early stages of AI. Yeah? We are still in the early stages of artificial intelligence. It's not too late to get in. Like I said, obviously, you don't want to be using AI to do malicious things, to do nefarious things. You don't want to use AI for cheating. You don't want to use AI to just start doing things for you. You don't want to outsource your entire life, your entire thinking to AI. But we have to use AI as a tool for leverage so we can buy back our time. So again, thank you, Bars Nation, for tuning in. That's what I got for you today. See you on the next episode. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast wherever you're consuming it on. Have a great one. Peace out.